I don't need my GPS this morning. I can drive without it and share my quick message. I was going to go on Facebook Live, but I decided not to. And it's just a quick message. You see by the title. For those who watch this replay, thank you so much. I'm just looking in my rear view at this biker coming behind me. You got to watch out for bikers, especially when you're by the ocean and pulling off, because they ride right here. But anyway, you see by the title, Energy Creates Worlds. And I have this conversation, and I've had this conversation with people for years, and many people don't believe it. I remember having this conversation and even posting a live video on Facebook at the beginning of this pandemic and the quarantine, when the fear was probably at its highest. The fear vibrating throughout the world was extreme. And I remember saying on Facebook Live, like seeing the ghost town that LA was. It felt surreal because I got here before the quarantine. And I remember doing some YouTube lives, and I'm like, y'all, these people just do not believe in personal space at all. So then when the quarantine happened and it was the ghost town, a literal ghost town around here, it felt kind of weird. And I'm not moved by fear or anything like that. And my energy really is very well cultivated over a few decades. So it's not something that I expect people to do overnight. But many people do not believe that their energy is what creates everything that we see. Energy is what creates worlds. Energy is what created these buildings that I'm driving past, this car that I'm in. Energy is what created me, you. So when your energy is this and that has always happened to me, or damn, this is always going wrong. See, these are just words that you're using because this is how the sound vibration comes out. We speak words, right? No matter what country or continent, we still speak. And that vibration comes out in sound. But the vibration, the energy is what creates your horrible life, is what creates your life of things always going wrong, always, consistently, because you consistently say things always go wrong. You consistently have that energy of things always go wrong. You consistently expect things to always go wrong because the matter that was already created in your past, that's what you're still looking at. But we don't pay attention to our energy and our emotion that creates our environment and our reality, right? The reality begins in here. If you can see it and you believe what you see and you're willing to put in the work and the effort to make it because you believe it, then it's going to happen. If you believe everything's always going to be fucked up, if you believe, like you genuinely believe because of your past that things are always going to be fucked up, your future is always going to be fucked up, because in the present moment, that is what you are projecting. In the present moment, that is the world that you are creating for yourself. It's really just like we are writing our own movie. But the problem with human beings, mostly, is that we think that what we see out here is what's to be believed. We don't think that what we see here is what we should believe, because that's what we should believe. That is the reality. And the reason we don't is because we limit ourselves to, I'm just a human. I tapped on this before. Like, that is the most disgusting thing you can say. You're just a human. You're not just you're the only being that was created that can control your own mind. You're the only one that can be disobedient to the laws of nature. The only one. A dog, a camel, a cow, without human intervention, cannot, absolutely cannot be disobedient to, oh, that's not my street, but I can turn on the street. They cannot be disobedient to the laws of nature. A camel cannot say, you know what, I'm going to be a fucking zebra today, and I don't give a shit who don't like it. No, a camel cannot do that. Like, it absolutely cannot do it. So a camel is just a camel. A cow is just a cow. An oak tree, an acorn, is just an acorn until it turns into and becomes and evolves into an oak tree. So see, you are more likened to something that transforms. Like a caterpillar isn't always a caterpillar. A caterpillar is a butterfly. It's just not evolved into a butterfly yet. There's a process to that evolution. It has to go through its phases of becoming now this beautiful butterfly. We human beings living in this physical form that we get way too attached to. We get way too attached to this physical form, and we limit ourselves. We put ourselves in the tiniest fucking box, and we make ourselves miserable because other human beings said that, you know what, you're supposed to put every other human being before you. Because although you are the most important person in your realm, you have to put everyone else before you so that you can go through a life of learning how to endure and cope with being miserable internally. Miserable. That is incorrect. We have these visions, we have these instincts, we have these ideas, and because other human beings throughout our life who at one point they fed us, they clothed us, like we relied on them for our survival, these people told us that, you know, to be caring and loving to others, we have to put ourselves last. And that means you have ideas. No, you don't. That's crazy. That's crazy. Nobody's ever done that before. Well, that is why the universe is sending you this idea. That is why this idea is bubbling up in you, because I'm quite sure somebody probably did at some point. And if not, if it's because of the advancement of other energies that created the advancement of the technology that we have now that goes right along with the idea that you were given. But because we have allowed so many humans to minimize us and to make us small and to make us minute and feel inferior to what? A camel? Then we think that what our ideas and what we see in our head is a fantasy. No, that is the reality. That is the reality. Everything begins here. And the energy that you put behind it, like this, for example. For example, if you want a new something, whatever it is, you have one now, it's old, it doesn't work as well, things are broken, whatever the case may be, whatever the thing that pops into your mind, you want a new one. Instead of, here's energy, and here's how energy and the law of attraction works. Instead of focusing on and telling every fucking body that'll listen about why you should have the new thing, because when you do that, what you're doing is pointing out all of the old things, correct or incorrect. When you try to validate why you deserve this new thing, how do you do that? Do you do that by pointing out all of the good attributes or features or functions about the thing you want? Is that how you go about validating why you should have what you want? If you do, that's good. That is excellent. Most people go about validating what they want by pointing out all of the bad and the negative in the thing that they have right now. That is how most people do it. Oh, I really want a new car because this one is this and this one is that and this one is this and this is energy. It's not, well, I'm just stating no, it isn't. What you're doing is creating your future results. And it's so difficult for people to believe that this is energy. Just say, I want this new vehicle because this one gets this many miles per gallon. This one is this one is highlight all the good things in this thing you want. Don't even think about the shit that you have that's broken that you don't want. Don't put any thought or energy at all into what you don't want, because that is what you're gonna get. The law of attraction is about attraction. There is no lack in the universe, which means there is no push away. There is no I don't want. It's only attraction. It's only attraction. That's it. There is no I don't want that. I don't want that. That is attracting. The energy of I don't want that. That's what you focused on. You focused on what you don't want. What you don't want. Your subconscious, the universe, the source energy doesn't know the difference between a don't and a want. It's vibration. So if you're vibrating on this landmine, the motherfucker's gonna blow up. I mean, how difficult is that to understand? And when you think about, okay, emotionally, I feel horrible right now, then that means you are in resistance to your true self of being. But most people don't want to go through what you have to go through to be who you really are. Most people don't. Most people really think that they can put a Band-Aid on it by just being fake. And you can't. You can't. Your true self, your true unhappiness is going to show, and it's going to show to you. This is really what I express to people. And that's why I say all the time, what you eat don't make me shit. Who you fuck don't make me come. Doesn't make me a difference. It doesn't make me a difference at all. It doesn't make your parents a difference. It doesn't make your kids a difference, your spouse. Only you go through what you go through. Anyone else, you have to tell them about it. I shared the analogy with someone, one of my clients, as a matter of fact. I said, if you have a nightmare, only you are having that nightmare. Your spouse may see, the reaction of what you're going through, and then you have to tell that person what you were experiencing, but only you go through what you go through. Period. Only you know when you're faking it, when you say, hey, I'm great. Only you know that you are dying inside. Only you know that. Only you know what your deepest desires are. Because the omens that are for you, they come to you only. Only. When that voice keeps telling you, man, you really should create that crafting business, and it's been telling you that for 5 years, that's because that is what will make you happy. Not necessarily that's what's going to make you a ton of money. It's not about that. Only poor motherfuckers say it's about the money, and it's not about the money out of the same sides of their fucking mouth. People that really live in their purpose, it's not about the fucking money. They will do that shit and have done that shit and will do that shit for years with no monetary gain. And when the monetary gain comes, because again, the law of attraction and the way the universe works is you have to give, then you will receive. And this is what it means, my dear crooked Christians. It's better to give than receive. It doesn't mean put everybody else before you. It means put yourself first and be in that giving to the universe so that you can get what you want. I put myself first in every aspect of life, and everyone around me only benefits from it. Why? Because I am at my absolute best self in this moment right now. So everyone that's in my presence gets some of that, and everyone appreciates. And I'm having more and more, I'm just being me. I'm just being me. I've cultivated and still cultivate who I am, my energy, my character. Once again, people gonna get tired of hearing me saying this, but it's a fact. It is an actual historical fact of my timeline of being on this earth. I've been cultivating me since 12 years old. So it's not bad. It's not a negative. It's a necessity to cultivate your energy and pay attention to your emotions so that you know when you are in line, in tuned, aligned, or when you're completely out of whack going against the grain. Which one are you doing? Your emotions, it's like your gas gauge. It lets you know where you stand. It lets you know where you are. Your emotions will tell you when you feel good. I mean, really feel when you feel good internally, then you're aligned. You are aligned with your spirit being, with your subconscious, with everything in that moment. You are aligned. And I used to tell my children all the time, faking it only affects you. You faking the funk only affects you. Nobody externally really cares, and no one externally will be affected by you pretending to be happy when you're miserable. Nobody. You're pretending to be, this enlightened teacher, and you have no fucking clue. It's only going to affect you. It's only going to affect your integrity, your reputation. It's only going to affect you. Just like the energy that you put out, it only affects you. It only affects you directly. Yeah, it affects everybody in a sense because, again, energy creates worlds. Energy is what creates matter. Like, think back to science, back in school. Energy and matter. Matter are the tangible things. This is matter. This is all matter. The things you can touch, see, and feel is matter. Right? These are the solids, the actual thing form. Right? The energy, the vibration, what we cannot see, but what we can feel is what created these things that we can see. You can't create something that's like, this is already here. So I can't build this on top of this. But what I can do is believe in the visions that I see and be willing to put in effort to create what I see. Right? If you believe that you can, you can. If you give yourself all sorts of excuses, then the law of attraction will continue to send you more of that matter, that showed the tangible version of those excuses, is what I'm trying to say. The law of attraction will send you more, will put those excuses into tangible, things right in your face. So forget about yesterday. It's gone. You can't do anything about it. Like, that's such a waste of time. And I mention all the time because it's relevant. It goes back to how long I've been on this path, right? My teenage daughter, who is now 29 years old, used to say, you're a control freak. And I always bring that up because it's, I don't know how she just became so normal, but I guess that was just her destiny. But my thing has always been, I like to control what I can control. because I don't like to feel helpless. Like there was a time in my life as a dependent, as a child, and I really mean as a child, as a dependent, that I felt helpless, and I hated the way that felt. I hated being at the mercy of some adult that has no idea what the fuck is best for me. And yeah, I actually mean that. I do mean that. And I mean it just like that. So once I got, the first time my mother, because my mother didn't raise me the first 9.5 years of my life. So when she did get me, and after some time of going to beauty school so that she can learn how to do my hair, and I've always had long hair and a lot of it, a lot of hair. My aunt was the only one that willingly kept my shit laid, slayed, braided, baby. Boy, don't even get me started on my auntie Trish, okay? But anyway, my mother went to beauty school so that she could learn how to do my hair. And when she put a fucking relaxer in my hair, helpless little 10, 11-year-old Shalonda hated it. I was pissed. And I remember saying, as soon as I get old enough to make my own decisions, and this is verbatim because I've never forgotten it. As soon as I get old enough to make my own decisions, I'm getting this shit out of my head and I'm never putting it back in again. 17 was the last time, right after I had my daughter, that I had a relaxer put in. And at 19, 2 years later, I had my mother cut the last 2 inches of that shit out of my head. And I have not had a relaxer in my hair since I was since I was 17 years old. And then it grew all out. And then cut the rest of it out off my ends when I was 19. So the fact that for me, it's always been about controlling what I can control. That's why I don't choose to blame, point fingers, make excuses, because that makes me feel helpless. If I blame someone else for something that I should be fixing because it's in my experience, then that puts me in a helpless position because I can't control what they do. I can't control if they're going to come. I can't control if they're going to fix it. I can't control whether or not they think they should fix it. But what I can control is fixing the fucking shit. I can control getting it fixed. I can control taking accountability for it being my shit and I want it fixed and I'm the one using it and I'm the one need it. Like, it just makes sense to me to be accountable for me. It just makes sense to me. That is my superpower, to be accountable. I've been teased, talked about my whole fucking life. I don't care about that. I care about being accountable for my life. I care about controlling myself, my energy, cultivating my character so that I can become who I am and continue to become who the fuck I am. That's what I care about. So if that makes me a control freak, that's okay. But what I'm advising everyone is to learn to be a control freak and control your energy. Cultivate your energy. Nothing external can affect how you feel, your mood, how your day goes. None of that. You allow it to. You choose to lose control because it's just too motherfucking hard to keep it together all the time, I guess. I don't know. Like I told the guy yesterday, he called me, who made my crown. And he called me, that was his third time saying thank you, but it was just on him to call me. But when he made my crown and I went to pick it up, the next morning, he made a phone call for something and turns out it was gone. I spoke about it a few days ago. Turns out it was gone. And I told him, he was saying thank you for my words, because my only words, which I said to him, my only input is, you are a creator. Create the result that you want. And then I left, because this is for him to deal with. And I told him, we're on two different parts of our journey. However, I know your seed has already been planted. Me, it's been a long time. For a long time now, my initial reaction in a catastrophe is calm. But I've been here for a long time. I've been here for a long time, couple years. My initial reaction in catastrophe is calm. And like he said, it took him about 10 minutes to get back there. And that is great because some people don't ever get there. Some people will be there in that bad energy, creating more negativity for hours or days or weeks or just a lifetime. Something happened, it already happened. You can't do anything about that. It's done. It's done, done, done. Create what you want. Create the life that you want. Create the future that you want because those pages have not been written and you have the pen. The ball is in your court. You are the author. You are the fucking editor. You are the publisher. It's all on you. It is all on you. Nothing anyone else says or does or anything in actuality has any bearing on what you do, what you say, or what you think. Humans just choose to say, do, and think shit that creates a not so comfortable world for them to live in. And then they feel helpless that they can't get out of it. But you can. Change your mind. Change how you look at things, and the things you look at will change. Peace. Happy Monday. Make it a magnificent one.